Hi guys, it's Mac from Flowly. So today we're going to go through how to create a sign-up form in your Klaviyo account for your store. We're going to go through 4 key aspects. So incentives, designs, so whether or not to use designs, imagery, what kind of messaging you use, and just some kind of timing that you want to test as you build it from here. And I'm going to drop a few little bits and pieces in as we go, but we're going to cover those 4 key areas. So when you're in your Klaviyo account, you can click over here, sign up forms, and then you can click create sign up form. And then ultimately you can choose one. I'm just going to move this out of the way. So what you can do here is you can choose the kind of pop-up, fly out, embed, whatever you'd like. Today we're just going to choose a pop-up to give you an idea what it looks like, because these are the most common ones. And then on categories, you can choose whether to collect emails, phone numbers, emails and numbers, and then a number of different things here, announcements, zero party data, that kind of thing. So we're just going to do collect emails on here. And then you get a number of different ones that you can choose from here. So you can have one that has like a discount before you leave. You can have one which will send a discount like here to your email. You can have like a circular one. You can have one with different images, image background. You get to choose what it is that you ultimately want to go for. So we're going to go for a discount on exit. I'm going to call it discount before exit, and then I'm going to choose our email list here. So depending on your account, it might be newsletter, it might be email list, it might be a list that you've created and called something else. But ultimately, all your lists that you create will be on here. So click email list. Keep the teaser on. Found that to be extremely useful. We'll go through that in a moment of what that looks like, but we'll definitely keep that on there. So we'll create the form, and then so this is obviously like we've had this as a discount before exit one. So this is if somebody like goes to exit your website, the pop-up will show up here, which I found to be really, really useful on there. Now, if you did want that, you could ultimately just going to pause and let this catch up. Looks as on a bit of a go slow. There we are, back again. So you could like get rid of this. So if we just like delete that block altogether, and we don't have it as an exit intent if you don't want, so like a discount before exit up here, we can choose what we want. So what we have here is your teaser. We'll do that first. So this is basically like some kind of shape at the bottom with some kind of discount that you use. And then on your mobile, it's a little bit different. Shows the bottom, pops up. Always worth checking what it looks like on both. But when you want to edit it, you can come across and you can choose, do you want it to be a circle? Do you want it to be a little corner? Do you want it to be a rectangle? And then you can change the position. So you could have it up here. You could have it on the side if you want something like that. Maybe on this side. Obviously, when you're on mobile, it's worth just checking to see what it looks like. You might want it at the top, because on mobile it looks better. You ultimately get to decide where you want to have it from there. And then choose the size. Do you want it to be small? So it's only, it's going to look pretty similar on mobile, but like on here, I mean, that looks terrible, but you get the idea. Or do you want like a large one? Just takes up quite a lot of space. Then one thing you want to look at is the behavior. So we typically install any of these that we do after the form is closed, because people accidentally click off the form sometimes, because when they visit a site, there'll be a pop-up, and there might be like a cookies pop-up, and then maybe some kind of messaging for your customer service team. So, it can get a little bit crowded. So we typically just have it when the form is closed, and then it's there as like a little reminder if anybody wants to use it. And then if you want to have a close button, you can click that there, and obviously get a little close button. We don't typically think to use it, just leave it off. And then if you want to change it, obviously this text is in white here, and they've centralized it in here. You can change it. You can have black writing if you want. So come up here and change the text color to black if you wanted, and you could get rid of the little face if you wanted. And then ultimately you can change it to like get 10% off, for example. So say we're going to do 10% off, we're going to have it black, yeah. And you can change obviously the background color, which is there. No, it's not. It's down here. Sorry, change the background color on here, and you can change it to something else if you like. So you could change it to like maybe like a red. Wow, it's really bright, isn't it? Like a red here, and then you might want to come back and change the writing to get rid of that text color again, and you could change that to white, and you could have it like that if you wanted. And then ultimately you have like a really bright pop-up. if you wanted. You get the idea, get to play around and do that. Really, really useful to have these because, like I said, people tend to drop off, from the sign up form or whatever. So next thing is, this is the main event. This is the sort of email opt-in that people have. And then after that, there's like a success stage here with a coupon. Okay. So what you can look at here is like, what kind of incentive do you want to create for people to sign up for your email? Now, depending on the type of brand you work with, and your margins as well, you want to consider like, well, what kind of offer can we give to bring people in? You may have already spent a fortune driving people to your store from ads, Facebook ads, for example. So you don't want to go and just give away, a huge piece of the pie, right? However, if you have a look and say, well, does a 5% discount, will that convert people? And you can basically test this over a period of time and test it and see what converts. So you could try 5%, you could try 10%, 20%, you could try free delivery on orders over a specific amount. It really doesn't matter, but you can get creative. It could be like, get your free mini email course, which is what we're building on our website right now. And it could just be any of your email to get access to the 10K email course or something like that for free. Yeah. And then you can basically then change the button. So these are the key things. Like, there's a lot to do, but I'm not going to jump into loads of different things. I'm just going to show you the key things that are important to get you moving. Basically, this will submit the form when you click it, and that will then go down as a submission. It will go to the email list, and then it'll go to the next step. Now, you can test a number of different things here. So instead of sign up, you could be like, get access. And then you can say, let's change the color because that's horrible. Maybe you want to go for like a crazy yellow on there, and that's really, really bright. I probably wouldn't use that. Maybe drop down here and look at something a bit different. Or maybe let's try a blue. A blue is really different. Move the color block around and find something. And maybe that's what we go for, yeah? And we decide. Now, the hint is to kind of use colors that are relevant to your brand. If you have yellow as like one of your core colors, maybe you want to use that yellow. Then as you scroll down, you can ultimately change a number of different things. You can do fit to text width, and that'll drop it on there, which obviously looks horrible. Stretch width, keep it on there. You can play around. You keep this is where people are going to put their email in, and then you can change the image. So on here, you can basically click replace and put a different kind of image in from your brand if you'd like, or you can just remove it altogether and have nothing. Now, it's worth looking at what it looks like on mobile because you don't have the image on mobile, so it's just worth checking to see what that looks like, and then come back and you can see what you do from there. So that's the kind of messaging. So in terms of incentives, like, do you want to have this here? You may just delete this altogether and be like, nah, I don't want that. And that could be gone. It could just be get your free mini email course. And maybe you want to drop a space in there just to create a bit of space. And that could be all you have. Get your free mini email course, get access. People go click, whatever. So if it's like a store and you're selling something, maybe you want to try and go for 10%. That seems to be the good one that we see a lot of time. Maybe 12% to be different, 11, 12.5, whatever. Maybe 9. You can really sort of play around. Free delivery on orders over 50 quid, you get the idea. And then you can update the image from there. So once somebody fills that out, it'll go to success, and then you can put the coupon in here. So say if it was obviously not a mini course, and it was 10% off, you could click on here. Well, let's say 5% because that's here. You can enter the coupon, and then you can have a static code here. Yeah, if you want a static code. You can also use unique codes, so you can have Shopify coupons, and you can have uploaded coupons. But you can just create a static one if you want, and it could be, get 5 now or something. Yeah, and then people know, and they'll copy that onto the store, and then they can use it at checkout from there. And obviously change the image again, check mobile, you see what you've got, everything looks great from there. So now we've got that, say we're happy with that, go back to this main one because this is the main thing. Let's look at targeting and behavior. So you've got a number of different things here that you can use. So you can have it immediately, which I wouldn't recommend. Give people a chance to kind of look around your store and see what there is, and actually like see if there's something they want to buy. And also, there may be certain websites you may not want to, parts of your website that you don't want to put it on as well. I'm not going to cover that in this free course, but there's a number of different areas you can look at. For the sake of simplicity, you could say, let's put it based on a number of rules. And you could say, if they're about to exit the page, it'll pop up after a time delay. So let's say like 12 seconds. So after 12 seconds of being on the site, or maybe they scrolled like 40%, or it can be after they've seen a certain number of pages. We don't use this. I don't find it to be that useful because we like to control what pages are on. But if you're driving people to the main page, for example, then you can kind of like have this pop up on there. 12 seconds is a decent amount of time. I would test between like 10 and 30, maybe sometimes more, depending on the type of products that you're selling and depending on the type of buyer intent from when people come. Like if you sell quite a cheap product, and people are price sensitive, they may want to see this sooner. If you sell a really expensive product, people might want to spend a bit longer looking around and seeing what kind of products you have before like getting sent something like this, if at all. So this is something we'd look at. We'd set like based on rules. And we typically have, if they're about to exit, some kind of time delay and some kind of scroll from there. And that's what we would do. A couple of things at the bottom that are useful. So if somebody closes the form, typically let's not show it for at least 5 days because they might not want to see it. And they might visit your site again in 5 days. It might pop up and they might sign up from there. But ultimately, you don't want to just keep popping it up because they'll just leave your site and never buy from you, and then they'll never go back and have a bad experience. So that's what we're going to cover on there. So really, really straightforward for pop-ups, right? Have your teaser. Always good to have your teaser, something that pops up. You don't have to have red with crazy emojis, but you get the idea. Have your main pop-up on here. Now you can add other bits and pieces, with blocks on here, phone numbers and other information, for example. I'm not going to go through that on this free course, but there's a number of different things you can add. At this stage, if you're watching this and you're trying to go from like 0 to 15K a month, you don't need to be thinking too deeply about all these extra things to add. Like make it really, really simple for yourself. Just have some kind of incentive with the messaging. Obviously have the email, have the button, and maybe an image if you'd like. And that's really it. And test those sort of 1, 2, 3 core components over time to see if a different image does better or a different kind of message. So it could be, instead of get your free mini course, it could be, would you like a free mini course? Or would you like to improve your emails? That kind of thing. So instead of like get 10% off, it'd be like, would you like 10% off? Or would you like a free gift? Or would you like free delivery? Test all these different messages out just to see, does a question work better than a statement? Does having the text underneath like we had before? So there was like some text under there before. It may be that you want to have some text so you can put it back in the center like this. And it could be like sign up to get whatever, if you'd like. And that really is it. So don't need to overcomplicate it with pop-ups. I see far too many brands and marketers trying to make these really, really elaborate things. But buyer behavior, they're there for a reason. Make it easy for them. Don't make it difficult. And that's it. Thanks for coming.